In this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step playbook on hiring $3 an hour virtual assistants at scale using AI. Now, I'm also going to give you all of my templates, the swipe files, and the ChatGPT prompts that I'm going to be using in this video for you if you stick with me till the end. My name is San, and I have been working at global consulting firms for the last 10 years, where we've helped Fortune 500 clients outsource their workforce and to build their digital systems and automations. I also run a virtual assistant company where I've hired, fired, managed, and trained hundreds of VAs. So my goal with this video is to share and document all of my experiences and the best tips and tricks. Now, let's get started. These are going to be the tools that we'll be using: Google Docs, Google Sheets, online job sites. I'll go over what your options are with those, ChatGPT, and an AI tool called Vervo. All right. So I'm going to start with some common pitfalls and recruiting mistakes. You don't want to be settling for less than an A player talent. Your team is only as strong as its weakest link. You don't want slackers or B players. All right. People are going to talk in your team. And if they see that someone is slacking, or they're not pulling their weight, or they're not performing, they're going to think that it's okay for them to start doing that, right? So you don't want to set that standard in your company culture. So in the beginning, set the high expectation up front, but that's going to start with hiring the right people. In this case, hire A players. So the second mistake is hiring VAs only when you start needing them. We don't want to be coming from a place of need, because what that's going to do is it's going to lower your standard, and you're going to get less than good quality of talent. And you're also going to be feeling needy, and you're going to start tolerating less than acceptable performance, which means you most likely aren't going to be getting A player talent. So try to hire as early as you can, and try to set the high standards up front, because otherwise you're not going to have people in your company that are actually going to help you move forward. You're going to end up just having to manage them and train them, and it's going to become a second job for you. All right, so step one, map out your ideal hire. So clearly describe their role and qualities. Start thinking about what that role looks like within your company and what success looks like. So what's your goal, right? What's their goal that they need to achieve? And how much time and cost are you actually saving, right? You want this to be an ROI driven activity, right? Because you're going to be paying these VAs. So they need to bring some kind of ROI, even if they're not directly related to sales or marketing. Whatever it is that they're doing, you can always tie a cost or some kind of time frame to it. And start thinking about the compensation, perks, growth opportunities, so that you could attract the best candidates. So let's start with this first prompt in our ChatGPT. So you're simply just going to copy and paste this into ChatGPT, and you're gonna update the name of the position. So let's say I need an executive assistant, and I'll just put a dash because it's a virtual assistant role. All right, so now it's gonna spit out all of the information that we'll need. All right, and we're going to be using this as part of our job post later, but definitely read over this information and tweak it as necessary based on what you're needing this VA to do, and come up with these items on your own. These are going to be based on your needs. So type of employment, is this a full-time position, contract, part-time, right? What are their working hours? Most likely, if you're hiring from the Philippines, you want to definitely set the time zone expectation up front, so that way they know that they need to be available during your time zone. The pay rate, is it going to be hourly, weekly, or monthly? As I mentioned earlier, compensation, perks, growth opportunity, definitely start thinking about those things as well. And last tip is I suggest hiring a full-time assistant because that allows them to dedicate their full time and attention for your company, right? Because if they're working with multiple companies because you wanted to hire them for a gig or free part-time, then they're most likely not going to be able to put a lot of attention into work that they do for you. So start thinking about 40-hour week worth of tasks for them and start making a list of those things so that when they come in, you already have a list of tasks for them to take over. I've included a role mapping template here that you can take and use as well. This is similar to what we spit out from the ChatGPT, but you can use this as a template as well. All right, so this is what we have from our ChatGPT, and let's go to the next step. So we're going to sign up for a job site. There's tons of job sites out there, but the ones that I recommend are online jobs and virtual staff. So these sites are known for helping businesses find reliable remote workers or VAs from the Philippines. And I recommend getting VAs from the Philippines because one, they speak good English, and two, they're typically college educated and they have a culture of wanting to do a good job and to make sure they're serving the needs of their employer. So definitely recommend hiring folks from the Philippines. So basically it's an online job portal and you can post your job, review applications, interview them all from the platform. So it's good for hiring for long-term or part-time even. If you need someone for a project base or a gig base, then you can definitely go with sites like Upwork or Fiverr. One other good thing is they allow you to create a relationship outside of the platform. So with Upwork and Fiverr, they don't allow you to do that. You have to do everything within the platform. So it's really not good for long-term type of hire because they also take a cut from the pay as well. All right. I wouldn't say this is a con, but you have to pay to use the platform. So I've posted the job links to these job sites here. So let's start with online jobs, right? So this is their pricing model. You have a free version, which you can just use to post your job to see who's going to apply to your job post, but you can't hire them or communicate with them. The pricing for them is $69 monthly and $299 annually. So if you want even more job posts, then you can do the premium plan. All right, so that is option one. Option two, and this is what we use personally, is virtual staff. So it's very similar to online jobs. They have a free version that where you can post a job, but you can't message or hire the employees from the free version. And then you have the standard version, which is $99 a month. So if you plan to be hiring a team of VAs, or if you know like you might need other VAs later in the year, I definitely recommend going with the yearly plan because you get 75% off from this plan and you get everything, all the features in here. What I really like about it is it's unlimited jobs and unlimited staff, whereas online jobs, you have a limit, right, of either 3 or 10 job posts. So this is what we went with. So in this video, I'll walk you through the job posting and the filtering of the candidates from the virtual staff platform. All right. So these are the links here. Now, step 3 is we're going to create a job post. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT and we're going to just grab these information. All right. So if you've already come up with the terms of employment, the perks, definitely include these. We're mainly going to extract these 3 fields from ChatGPT. So that way we can just copy and paste it into our job post. All right, so let me just put this in here. All right, so it's basically going to spit out something similar as this, but it's going to only give us the 3 details that we need. And then definitely add any of the other information based on your company needs and your situation. All right, so this will be part of our template here. So I'm going to copy this. You're also going to have access to this job post template here that you can use as a reference. And coming back to how to apply section, try to give them some qualifiers. So things like, why are you interested in this job, right? Why are you the best candidate? If they have a profile, right, please include your profile. We recommend asking for a LinkedIn profile because it's usually a more updated profile for folks, and give them instructions like, what's your Skype ID? Do you have any portfolio or samples? Your resume, grammar tests. This is important if you need your VA to speak English well. So you definitely need to see where they're at on their speaking skills. And then you can also ask them to submit an email with the application. We recommend just getting them to hire within the platform because you just don't want clutter email, but that's definitely an option. So now that we have the job description, we're going to then create a job post. So I'm going to log in to the platform and I'm going to post a job. In this case, I'm looking for an executive and admin. Let me fix the spelling. So this is a headline, so you could say something like, looking for organized, skilled executive admin. And if you need someone soon, you could just say ASAP. This is going to be full-time for our stake. And then we're going to say this is for executive admin. You can put your salary here. I recommend putting it in the flexible zone. So you could say $3 to $6. So you'll get a higher rate of applicants with this. But if you have a specific budget where you can only afford, let's say $4 an hour, then you can put that here too. But I'll just put $3 to $6 with this. You can put your work hours. So let's say I need this person full time, so we'll just say 40 hours. And then work schedule, you could select fixed or flexible. So let's say I want them to be working Monday through Friday in Pacific time zone if I'm in the West Coast. And I need them, let's say I need them at 8 to 4 p.m. All right. Now for the job description, we're going to take what we have from our ChatGPT and put it in here. All right, I'm just going to clean this up a bit. And then going back here, if you have any perks, growth opportunities, then include that. And instruction for applying, I'm just going to use the same as the template here. I'll just put it in the bottom. Click next. So it looks like they changed it a little bit. You can't add your email to it. So I'll just remove this. they will basically be applying through the platform. You could say you can't add links either, so you could just say Oxford Online English. Website. Cool. So for skills, try to choose up to 5. So you could say executive, you could say admin, assistant, admin task. You want to manage emails, email support. No, email support is really more like customer service. If they need to talk on the phone, you could say phone support, right? And you could do calendar. No, they don't have that. If you need them to research for you, maybe you can pick that one. All right. Company details, I'll just leave this as blank. Now this is where you can ask for qualification questions. So you can ask about highest level of education. You can ask any specific questions here as well. So if you need them to, let's say, have at least a bachelor, then you can pick that as the minimum education requirement. And then the last 2 questions are going to be based on whatever you need, right? So you could say at least 1 year of executive, admin, executive virtual assistant experience. And then maybe 3 year, or you could say 2 years of Microsoft, right? Microsoft Office. That's fine. All right. So click next. So now you're going to be able to review what you've posted. So this looks good to me. I'm going to check these and then submit. So now we have a job post. All right. So you can track all of your applicants through the site here. So I've already posted some jobs previously. So we'll just go over some of the candidates that came in through the pipeline already. So I posted a job, executive assistant one already. So this has 152 applicants. So if I want to take a look at how many people applied and who they are, I can go through to this list here, right? And that leads me to the next section, which is how do we filter out the candidates? All right. So what you're looking for is people who take it seriously, right? People who are honest, they don't exaggerate their experience. Now, this is typically for when you talk to them, but if they have a specific income goal that is too high or too low based on your position, then that might not be a good fit. Their previous experience should match with what you're looking for, depending on what your market is or what your offer is. You also want to, if you want to call for references, you can check to see if they had a positive relationship with their past work experience. And then personality test, that's just a bonus, but that can also tell you if their working style is a good match with what you're looking for. All right. So in here, I have a lot of assistants that are applying, right? So one recommendation is to use a CRM system and a hiring pipeline to keep track of those candidates. This is more of an advanced tip, and I won't go over the details of what that looks like in this video. I can probably do another video for this, but this can help you get them organized. So once we find this list of applicants, I'm going to start messaging them, right? And I'm going to start asking them to submit an application through our website. So this is just leading them to our jot form. And I'll go over in a later video on how to set up this form, but it's basically asking them to give more details about them, right? And this is a good way for us to filter out as well, because if they don't fill this out and they applied to this job post, we're not going to know, right? We're only going to consider the people who filled out the post, right? And then this is part of the advanced tip, but you can connect this to your CRM. So whenever they fill this out, they can start getting organized in your CRM. Okay. So first step is people who don't follow that instruction, right? If they don't fill it out, they're not going to be considered, right? If they email you their application, but it's the wrong subject line, or if they're missing Skype ID or any other specific instruction that you give them, then they're going to be disqualified. The second way to disqualify them is, this is more of a manual effort as well, where if you look at their resume, portfolio, and qualification, you can make sure that they are meeting your standard. So let's go back here. I'm going to click into this candidate here. So I'm looking at their skills, their summary, right? So they got administrative support, that's good. Human resources, not bad. They don't really say anything about executive assistant experience, but so they do have it in the skill, but not in the summary. So that's a maybe, right? You can, in this one, you don't have their resume, so I can't review their portfolio or their resume. But let's go to another candidate. So let's take a look at John here. I'm going to look at his profile. So John, I can download his resume. I can see he has admin experience, appointment setter, that's good. Let's see if he has any executive admin experience. He doesn't. But if I like his background, I can bookmark it, and then I can message him to fill out the application, right? So that is the next filter. Now, the third filter, now once they fill out the application and you need to basically qualify them further, we're going to use an AI tool called Vervo. So what Vervo is, it gives our candidates an assessment for them to fill out, and it's fully automated, so it's hands off. You just have to set it up one time, and what it's going to do is it's going to send them a list of questionnaire that they fill out as part of like an assessment, right? So I'll just go to the assessment library here, and you can see there's so many different kinds of assessments that they could take. So there's one for executive admin as well. I just have to find it. Let me log in. All right, so there's one for executive admin. There we go. Executive assistant. That's basically the same thing. So I can preview it, and it's already given me a list of questions, right? That's going to be asked, and it's going to be using AI to assess the answers, right? You can see here, it's not just text-based. They can also fill out a spreadsheet or a document, right? And sometimes it asks them to record a video, right? So it's pretty comprehensive, and I recommend just using the template that they have. So if I'm using this tool, which my company uses this, and we use this to qualify the candidates further, and the folks who fill it out, the AI is going to give a score, and it's going to tell us if they're a good fit. All right. So the way it works is, once you have the list of questions, you're going to just invite them, and you can put in their phone, their full name and email, and it's going to send them a test. So let me quickly pause this video and show you an example of folks who filled out the test. So this is one of the assessments that we've had a couple months ago. And this is where we basically tested them for general virtual assistant skills. So you can see here, Diane is one of the top performer, right? This is scored by the AI, right? And you can click into it and it can tell you where they place with their score. So it's a really good way for us to be hands-off on having to qualify them further, right? This is happening before we even speak with them, right? So this is definitely a tool that I recommend if you're hiring at scale, because you don't have to talk to all the candidates, right? It's going to save you so much time. Now, the tool is a little bit costly. So let me see what the cost looks like now. So they have the free version, so you can definitely start with that. And they have the pay-as-you-go. So depending on how many people you need to send out the assessments on, you can pick. So let's say I got my top 10 candidates and I want to send out the assessments, then I can just pick this plan and then I can use it. Now let's go back. So definitely try to narrow to 10 applicants. If you have more, then try to qualify them further, right? And this is part of raising your standards. Now, if you have less than 5 applicants, it either means that the qualifications from the job post is just way too high, or it might just need to be tweaked because it just might not be speaking the same language, right? That is attracting candidates. So definitely try to make adjustment so you can get more applicants. All right. Now you can use my template here on VA assessment. So you can list out all of the candidates that you're considering. You can put in their resume here, their work, and then give them a score. So 1 would be lowest, right? 5 would be the highest. And then after that, tally it up to see who has the highest score. And then you can move those candidates to the next stage of recruiting. Next up, we have interviewing. So now that you have folks that you see are a good fit or potentially good fit, you can start interviewing them. So obviously we recommend video interviews, but if you simply just don't have the time, you can also do an email interview. This is more of an asynchronous way of getting to know them without you having to get on a video call with them. So you can use our interview questions and script template here that you could ask them on the interview. And then once you're able to get those answers, use this spreadsheet, the VA assessment spreadsheet, and fill this out further. So next is we don't want to give them an offer right away because we don't know how they're actually going to be producing, right, while they're working for you. So what I recommend is giving them a trial task. It's a great way for getting a feel of how they will be working in a real world context, right? And definitely recommend paying them for this. So $100 to $200 for the task. And this task shouldn't last more than 5 hours. Use the trial task email template to let them know what the instructions are for that. And aside from that, you can definitely evaluate based on the output of their work. So what I would recommend in this case is get 3 to 5 candidates that you're like, oh, these guys are really a good fit, but I can't hire all three or 5 of them. I just need to hire 1. So give all of them a trial task and then try to compare the quality of their work, right? So here is the trial task templates. So it's going to be different based on whatever it is that you're needing them, but you can definitely use this as a starting point. And then here is the email template for giving them instructions on the trial task. Cool. So once you know that you're ready to hire a candidate, we're going to give them an offer. So we're going to have an offer letter that clearly states all of the details of the position, the responsibilities, compensation, all of that information. And here's the most important part. You want to set the expectation that this is a trial period. Yes, you're making them an offer and this is a hire, but it's a trial period of 1 to 3 months. Now you can choose either 1 or 3 months. I recommend 90 days, 3 months, so you can really find out if they will be a good fit after the 90 days. So the benefit of doing this is if they don't work out, then you can easily eliminate or terminate the contract. But if they turn out to be a good fit, then you can convert that into a permanent, right? A permanent hire, and you can even raise their salary, right? And that's gonna get them excited, and that's gonna get them to do a better job for you as well. So use my email template for the offer, and we also have the actual offer template here. And in terms of getting them to sign it, you can use a platform like DocuSign, or we use JotForm. They have a signing feature now, so there's a ton of tools out there for that. All right, cool. So once they accept the job, congrats, you have your first VA. Now we want to get them onboarded as soon as possible because we don't want them to be standing around not knowing what to do next. So here is the general overview of the onboarding process. You want to share all of your logins, access information, right? Giving them a list of tasks to do, right? Giving them a list of their daily activities, right? So if they need to submit some end of day status update, right, then you need to put those tasks in this list as well. Set the communication norms, right? If you're using Slack, how should they reach out to other team members? How should they talk with you, right? So definitely set those expectations. And then I recommend using Zoom to have training sessions with them so that they can ask you questions and you can train them. But try to have SOPs already before they come in so that you can just give those SOPs or playbooks to them so they can review those things before they get on a call. And so one last tip is try to make your VA feel welcome and provide as much support as possible during the onboarding period. So that way they're not overwhelmed and they're not feeling like they don't have support. And we have this onboarding template that you could use as a checklist that you could send to your new hire. All right, that is all. If you found this video to be helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so you can find more content like this. Now, I'm going to put all the links in the description below where you can find all of the resources that were mentioned in this video. And if you're looking to hire virtual assistants, but you just don't want to deal with hiring, managing, or training them, we have an on-demand virtual assistant team service that's going to be available for you. And the details are also going to be in the link below. All right, see you in the next video.